Hey everyone, welcome to this fast-paced explainer. Today, we are capturing the mind-bending essentials of Ray Kurzweil's visionary book in exactly 8 minutes or less. We're going to be moving at warp speed through some of the most profound ideas about the future of our entire species. So strap in and get ready.
Right off the bat, before we even hit the data, I want you to think about this one question. What happens when machines become smarter than us? I know. It sounds like some late-night sci-fi movie, right? But as you'll see in just a minute, it is actually the single most pressing reality of our near future.
So, today we're analyzing the source material from the Singularity Is Near by Ray Kurzweil. And honestly, here's the wild part. This is not just idle speculation. Kurzweil presents a meticulously documented, mathematically backed look at the actual trajectory of human civilization. We're dealing with hard data here.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. What is the singularity? 2. Law of accelerating returns. 3. The 6 epochs. 4. The GNR revolutions. And finally, 5. Transcending human biology.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. What is the singularity?
To really grasp the absolute stakes here, we have to look all the way back to 1965. Mathematician Irving John Good, a guy who actually worked alongside Alan Turing, warned that an ultra-intelligent machine would lead to, and I quote, an intelligence explosion, and the intelligence of man would be left far behind.
So, building on that, Kurzweil defines the singularity as a future period where the pace of technological change is going to be so rapid and so deep, human life will be irreversibly transformed. We are rapidly approaching a moment where we literally merge with our technology. By the end of this century, the non-biological part of our intelligence isn't just going to be a little bit smarter. No, it's going to be trillions of times more powerful than it is today.
Section 2. Law of Accelerating Returns. The foundational secret to all of this is the massive difference between linear and exponential growth. Human intuition is strictly linear, right? It's predictable, additive steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. But technology doesn't work like that. It grows exponentially. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Think of it like a pond where lily pads double every single day. For months, you barely even notice them. Then suddenly, in just the final few days, boom, they cover the entire pond. Exponential growth looks incredibly sudden, but the math has actually been building the entire time. And you can see this clearly. When you chart evolutionary progress on a standard linear timeline, you fall right into that lily pad illusion. You look at the graph and it looks like absolutely nothing happens for billions of years. It's just a flat, boring line until, bam, a sudden, massive vertical spike right at the present day.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when you adjust the view. Change the math to a logarithmic scale, and that sudden, mysterious vertical spike completely vanishes. Instead, a totally different, hidden pattern emerges. You see a smooth, relentless, and completely predictable acceleration of change. The rate of evolution itself is actually speeding up, right on schedule.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 3. The 6 epochs.
Kurzweil structures the evolution of the entire universe through 6 epochs, where every single stage uses the information processing methods of the previous one to evolve even faster. It all started with Epoch 1, physics and chemistry. That laid the groundwork for Epoch 2, biology and DNA. That biological hardware eventually led to Epoch 3, brains. With human brains, we kicked off Epoch 4, technology. And now, those accelerating returns of tech are driving us straight into Epoch 5, the human-machine merger, which is expected around the year 2045. And after that, well, Epoch 6, where this vast intelligence expands outward, and the universe literally wakes up.
Section 4. The GNR revolutions.
So what is actually acting as the bridge to Epoch 5? According to the text, the first half of the 21st century is entirely defined by 3 overlapping technological revolutions happening right now: genetics, nanotechnology, and robotics, also known as the GNR revolutions.
First up is genetics. Kurzweil essentially frames our biological bodies as kind of a flawed version 1.0. By treating biology like an information process, we're figuring out how to reprogram our own metabolic software. That means we could eventually just turn off diseases and, quite literally, reverse the aging process entirely.
Next is nanotechnology, which is manipulating the physical world right down at the atomic level. The book outlines a future where billions of microscopic nanobots, roughly the size of blood cells, are just patrolling through our bloodstream.
They'll basically serve as the ultimate hardware upgrade patch for our frail biology, destroying pathogens and fixing DNA errors on the fly.
And finally, robotics. Though in this specific context, what we truly mean is strong artificial intelligence. So the crucial point is that strong AI is the most profound revolution of them all, simply because intelligence is the most powerful force in the universe. Creating non-biological intelligence that vastly exceeds our own unenhanced capabilities is the exact thing that triggers the singularity.
Section 5. Transcending Human Biology.
The source material neutrally weighs the incredible extremes of living in a post-biological world. On one hand, you have the promise, this radical optimism that points to literal immortality, the eradication of poverty, and just unimaginably vast intelligence. But on the flip side, you have the peril. We're talking severe existential risks like weaponized, self-replicating nanobots or unfriendly AI. The sheer power of these technologies makes them the ultimate double-edged sword.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it frames the philosophical implications. As humanity marches up this ramp of radical life extension and transcendence, we are forced to ask a massive question. What does it actually mean to be human? When our physical bodies and our minds are infinitely expandable, and we are fundamentally merged with our technology, our very definition of humanity is going to have to evolve just as fast as our hardware does.
We are standing right at the threshold of the most transformative epoch in the history of our planet. So, when the time comes to merge with the machine, will you choose to upgrade? If you enjoyed this, subscribe to In 8 Minutes and never miss what matters.